Hey there, wonderful matrix. Welcome to Educate. Let us do this diagram below representing the human endocrine system. So now here you are basically given the human endocrine system. Remember, in most cases, when they give you the diagram like this, they actually give you glands. And remember that the endocrine glands, which form the endocrine system, basically, they produce, or they, let's just say they secrete hormones. All right. So basically, let's try to label each and every gland so that we'll be able to answer each and every question. So starting here with A is the pituitary gland, because you can see that it is the hanging gland. So it's the pituitary gland actually hangs at the base of the brain in a sense. Okay. So basically it is known as the master gland. It is known as the pituitary gland. So this is the pituitary gland. Another name for the pituitary gland, it is the hypophysis. So you can say pituitary gland, or you can say hypophysis. Please try not to use the word master gland. The word master gland, we use it to just describe that the pituitary gland has got the most hormones, okay? It releases the most hormones, or it secretes the most hormones. But otherwise, its name is pituitary or hypophysis gland, not the master gland. It's just a common term to describe its function. And let's look at B. You can see that B here, it is found at the throat. Basically, the gland that you find behind this this bone of the throat, it is the thyroid gland. So B, it is the what? The thyroid gland. So the thyroid gland, remember, it produces thyroxine. And then we have got C. C is this gland, and it looks like a leaf. So it's shaped like a leaf just below the stomach. You've probably done it in grade 11, especially if you are in other provinces, okay, beside KZN. Basically, you probably have done it in grade 11, whereby we say that the pancreas is an endocrine gland, but it can also act as an exocrine gland as well, because it can secrete into the blood, hormones into the blood, or it can also secrete its secretions into ducts. All right. So the pancreas is also an exocrine gland as well, but it can also act as an endocrine gland because it produces glucagon and insulin. So this is the pancreas. And D, it is this gland that is found on top of a kidney. The kidney, remember, it has got one gland on top. So this is the kidney, this shape that looks like a bean. It is the kidney. So basically, the gland that is found on top of the kidney, it is known as the adrenal gland. So we have got the adrenal gland, and the adrenal gland, you need to remember, it produces adrenaline as well as aldosterone. Okay, now 4.1, identify parts A and D. We have already done that. The part A, it is pituitary gland or hypophysis, and then the part D, it is the adrenal gland with no alternative names. Now, 4.2, it says, write down the letter and the name of the part. Please, grade 12, when it comes to answering such questions, be very vigilant and careful. They say, write down the letter and the name. Who in the world are you to bring just pituitary gland or write the letter C only? You have to write the letter and the name, both of them, to fully express or to fully answer the question. Hey. So basically here, write the letter and the name of the part that produces the hormone glucagon. We've already said that the hormone glucagon, remember, it is that hormone that is produced or that is secreted by the pancreas. The pancreas, remember, when it releases the hormone glucagon, it releases so that it can increase the blood sugar levels or the blood glucose levels. So basically, when you haven't ate a sugar content for long, the pancreas will release, or it will produce glucagon, so that glucagon will convert glycogen from your liver and send it to the blood and increase the sugar levels. So basically, the hormone that produces the hormone glucagon, it is the pancreas. But here we have to answer according to the format. The format says we need to write the letter and the name. So here the letter representing the pancreas, it is C, and then the name, it is pancreas. This is how you answer, and it is 2 marks. And then now looking at B, B asks us, write down the letter and the name of the part that produces a hormone that controls the growth of long bones. Remember, a hormone that is associated with growth, basically, since you were young, you've been growing up, right? I mean, literally, your body's organs have been growing up, all of them, right? So basically, what actually causes you to grow? It is known as the growth hormone. So the hormone that controls the growth of you as a human being, it is known as growth hormone, and it is part of those hormones that are secreted by the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland has got 5 hormones in total. That's how we say it's a master gland. It secretes FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, LH, luteinizing hormone, prolactin, as well as growth hormone. Those are 5 hormones. So the ones that controls the growth of the long bones, it is the growth hormone, and it is produced. Remember here, they didn't ask us the hormone, they asked us the gland that produces the hormone. So in this case, the pituitary gland or the hypophysis, a pituitary gland or the hypophysis, it is the one that produces the growth hormone, and the growth hormone is the thing that make you to grow, your organs to grow particularly. So now, number C, write down the letter and the name of the part that produces an iodine containing hormone. So basically, we have got the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland, let me just tell you a bit of a few things about it. The thyroid gland produces thyroxine hormone. The thyroxine hormone, for it to be activated, it needs iodine. So you need to eat something that contains iodine, especially salts most of the times. Salts contain iodine, a high concentration of iodine. So when you eat things that have got iodine, your thyroid gland will be activated such that it will secrete more thyroxine. So this tells us that thyroxine is actually a hormone that contains iodine because it needs to be activated by iodine. Now, which gland will produce thyroxine? Because basically the thyroxine, whenever you hear the word iodine, it is associated with thyroxine because iodine is required to activate thyroxine. So basically we say that that hormone is thyroxine and it is produced by the thyroid gland. So here, since the question wants the gland, so B, that is the gland, and then the name of the gland is the thyroid gland. So this is the thyroid gland. And then now, D, which is the last question. Okay, write down the letter and the name of the part that produces a hormone that is involved in the reabsorption of some salts. So which hormone? A hormone that is involved in the reabsorption of some salts by the kidneys. Remember, the hormone that controls the salt concentration in your blood, for example, when you eat a lot of salty chips, and you don't drink water, basically your blood will actually have more salt concentration. So which hormone will be responsible for reabsorbing those salts into the kidneys? Let's just say, for example, you have got low salt concentration in the blood. So for you to be able to rise the salt levels, you will need the hormone aldosterone. So the hormone is known as aldosterone. But the question here asks us the letter and the name of the part that produces the aldosterone, which is the hormone that reabsorbs some salts. So basically here, this part, it is known as the adrenal gland. So basically the adrenal gland, here we can see it here, D, we've already labeled it. So this is D, and it is the adrenal gland because it is producing aldosterone. So the other hormone that comes from the adrenal gland, remember, it is known as adrenaline, and the adrenaline, it is the one that gives you energy for a fight or a flight emergency situation. For example, even if you are hungry, if a lion comes next to you, you have to run away from the lion. Your body will not care that there is a lion in front of you and you are hungry. Basically, your adrenal gland will help you. The adrenal gland will give you energy to run away from the emergency situation. So adrenaline is one of the hormones that can be asked, and that hormone basically gives you energy to fight or to run away from an emergency situation. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you are hungry or you are full, because you guys like pretending and you'll be like, I'm hungry, I cannot even lift my neck, I'm hungry, I cannot even lift my hand, and all of that, that is all acting up. Because if a lion comes in front of you, or let's say if your principal comes, you have to run. It is because you have adrenaline and it gives you energy to run away from emergency situation. It is one of the hormones secreted by the adrenal gland as well. So I've just given you bonus marks for what is not asked. Please do not write what is not asked. I'm just giving you the information. So now 4.3, state the two similarities between hormones and nerves with regard to their functions. Remember, the hormones is what we are talking about here. These are the hormones, okay? Basically, the TSH, the FSH, all of those are different hormones. Hormones, remember, they're just chemicals that are sent through the blood. They are released by endocrine glands, the glands that we've just talked about here, and they are sent through the blood to certain target organs so that they can do a certain function, so that they can respond to something. So basically, the nerves also do the same thing, because when you put your hand on top of a stove, you will quickly pull out your hand. Why are you pulling out so quickly? It is because the muscles within your hand, they are contracting. Okay, those are the nerves. Actually, we did the nervous system, the reflex action. All of those are nerves, the nerves and the neurons and whatnot. So they are helping you to pull out from the hot plate of stove. All right, because it's too hot or it probably damage you. So pull out before it's too late. So basically, here we can say that the hormones and the nerves, they have a common function, and that common function, it is to do what? It is to protect the organism. But how does it do that? It basically, it's to respond to something. It is to respond to something. So we can say that here, both of them, because here we're talking about their similar function, both respond, all of them, they respond to stimuli. So they respond to stimuli. The stimuli, it is anything that is happening outside in their outside environment. For example, when it is hot, your hypothalamus, it will send nerves to your blood vessels so that you will start sweating. All right, I'll just cut the process short. Okay, so those are nerves, right? Or maybe when you've got a low concentration of water in your body, when you are dehydrated, your body, your hypothalamus, it will produce antidiuretic hormone. Okay, that's a hormone. So you can see that hormones and nerves, they've got kind of a connection, because all of them, they respond to a change in the environment. It's a change in the internal environment or in the external environment, but basically they try their best to maintain the body's internal conditions. When it is hot, they reduce the temperature. When you've got a lot of sugar, they reduce. Okay. When you are burning your hand outside, the nerves will pull out your hand. So basically, they all respond to stimuli. And then the other thing, they actually protect the organism. So this one is just an easy one. So they both respond to stimuli, and they do what? They protect the organism from danger or from injury. So they protect the organism from danger, or you can say whatever English that is. But basically, when you are okay, I've already made examples of this. Okay, basically, the best way, maybe you put your hand on top of a nail or something like that. Let's just change the stuff. There is a nail there. There's a nail, right? A nail, the nail, the one that you put. Yeah, that nail. So, and then mistakenly, you put your hand on the nail and then nail your club. And then what will happen? Eventually, your muscles will pull out, or maybe you step on a nail, for example. Your leg will pull out from the nail, so that what? So that you can be protected from danger. All right. So basically, both the hormones and nerves, they do a very good protection. They're actually a very good protection mechanisms to protect you from being injured. So this is basically the human endocrine system. I wish you all the best in your June exams, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.